And so it's a cold, crummy March day in southeast Wisconsin. See, I don't know if you guys can see this. We got snow outside, and it is annual time for my 1946 7AC Champ. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on with that airplane. My name is Dan Feldman. I am a CFI and the owner of Foxtrot Aero. And I want to take a minute to talk to you guys today about one of the kind of dirty secrets of flight training. So let's see if we can put this down. I'm in my crummy clothes and sit so I'm not jiggling the camera. At any rate, the thing I want to talk about is I have a number of students who are finishing now and or have finished. I'm looking at a lot of new pilots, and they finish their training, and lo and behold, they're enjoying it. They still love to fly. They love to train, but they're still afraid or nervous. Take your pick which term you like. And this is kind of a dirty secret, especially with adult flight training. It's a little bit easier when my students are teenagers. But when I'm dealing with 40 and 50-year-olds, our risk assessment is a lot more developed. And so they get done or close to done, and they realize they're having a blast, but they're still afraid to fly. And I'm here to tell you, you're not alone. This is a really common issue. Sometimes people put it down to a confidence problem, which it is in part, but there's nothing wrong with you. I'm now, let's see, I'm 56, so I've been flying about 11 years. I have somewhere toward 3,000 hours right now. And I can tell you, for the first 300, I was one of you. I would get in the airplane, and sure enough, there'd be a little gremlin sitting on my shoulder going, it sounds like that engine's running a little rough. Wait, vibration. Does that normally vibrate like that, or something new? And so I was having a good time, but I was not able to relax as a pilot. And once I became an instructor and I began to talk to more and more adult students, apparently this was kind of a normal thing. And a lot of them seemed to think they went the first 250, 300 hours. And before they felt confident in an airplane. So, one, you're not alone. Just know this is normal. It's experienced. I have no idea what percentage, but I've talked to a lot of pilots in the last few years. And especially among those that trained as adults, this is much more common. Or if they trained, stopped, and came back to finish training as adults. The truth is, anything male and under 25 is kind of stupid. We don't assess risk very well till we get over the age of 25. And then it occurs to us we could do something that we might not bounce back from. What can you do about it? Well, number one, as long as you're enjoying it, keep flying. And just know that you are not alone. And a little bit of my advice is going to go on fake it till you make it, so to speak. Keep flying regularly, and keep flying regularly enough that you can slowly kick out your operating margins a little bit, so you can handle higher and higher winds and slightly bumpier conditions. If all you ever do is fly at 6 a.m. when there's no wind and no bump, you really won't ever get beyond those. Two, you can continue to see an instructor. It's not uncommon for me to look, you were not Chuck Yeager the day I signed you off. We always have stuff we can work on, and you can use an instructor on those days to help build your confidence. Another option, and I use this one, is if you're involved with an EAA chapter, find some pilots in your chapter who are willing to fly with you. Usually there are a few. And honestly, when I first bought my Cessna 120, if it weren't for guys like Dave and Jim and Sam, it might have taken me a lot longer to get to that point, but they were willing to fly with me. They weren't instructing, but they were a level of competence to have a more experienced pilot there looking over my shoulder. But just know this is common. And if you're willing to fake it a little bit till you make it, you'll be in good shape. This will pass. Now, I don't want you to stop being cautious. You should never get in an airplane. I always say, not that I've got a lot of hair left, that if the day I get onto a motorcycle or into an airplane and the hairs on my neck aren't standing up a little bit, I've probably become a bit complacent. And I think any instructor will tell you none of us like fearless students or fearless pilots. Those guys tend to be dangerous. Confidence is one thing, but arrogance is another. And those are the pilots, frankly, who continue to scare me as an instructor. A lot of my more interesting days at work have been generated by people who are already pilots who think they know everything and get in the airplane and then do something stupid. That's not the goal. Anyway, just know you're not alone. Keep flying, keep practicing, keep slowly expanding the envelope in which you feel comfortable to fly. And I promise you, the gremlins will settle down and you'll enjoy flying. Anyway, have a good afternoon.